I'm Ronan, that's Wadsworth. Welcome to Now ZE HIR. It's Sunday afternoon, late Sunday afternoon. The Chicago Pride Parade was today, and it's been a pretty full Pride weekend for me. I ran a 5K, my very first 5K, actually, Saturday morning, and then went to the Chicago Dyke March, although I didn't stay at the rally long afterward because it was hot. And I was already exhausted from running a 5K. And I desperately needed sleep. And I knew I needed to rest up because I wanted to go out to Berlin, which is my favorite nightclub in Chicago. It's just so good. Every time I go there is an experience. And there was drag, and there was dancing, and there was drinking, and I got home after 2 a.m. and immediately fell asleep, and very luckily woke up in time to meet my friends for an early-ish brunch, 9:30, so that we could make it to the parade. And it's been a weekend full of emotion. I mean, I thought, of course, a lot about Pulse when I was going out last night. I kind of wanted to make a point to go out to a club for that reason. And the parade had a lot of memorials for Pulse and for Orlando going on there. It actually started with a procession of people carrying signs, and each sign was a picture of one of the shooting victims. It was solemn and beautiful and really, I think, a reminder of what we have to hold on to and why we celebrate ourselves and our love. For me, this weekend has got me thinking a whole lot about labels. Because I've identified as genderqueer, as non-binary for a long time. I've even identified with the term transmasculine for a long time. It's less recently that I've taken on the label of trans male, trans man, trans guy. And I've been exploring how those labels that I've adopted sort of shift with and against each other. And this weekend especially, I found myself re-embracing the idea of non-binary. Oh, I've actually got a button here. Let me see if I can get it. The light. It says, "Too cute to be binary." Additionally, I ran on this 5K, and I entered, it's the Proud to Run 5K in Chicago. And this year they introduced a non-binary category, along with male and female. I went with the non-binary one, and I actually wound up placing first in the non-binary group, which kind of flabbergasted me because I didn't think that I was going to be anywhere near first of anything, but there I was. And that in particular got me thinking, what does it actually mean to be non-binary? And that's a tough question to answer, particularly because if we are defining non-binary, we have to understand what the binary is. So if you're asking, what does it mean to be non-binary? You're also kind of asking, well, what does it mean to be a man? What does it mean to be a woman? I think for the most part, the kind of standard heteronormative, cisnormative argument is biological, right? We have a certain balance of hormones. We have certain secondary sex characteristics that sort of all converge together to make either a man or a woman. And if you're binary identified and trans, the idea is you transition in order to align yourself with your binary gender. And I do identify as both non-binary and trans male. And I know I'm not the only one who takes on both of those labels simultaneously, but what does that actually mean? The two things sort of seem to contradict each other on the face. In a lot of ways, I know that I refer to myself as trans male or just male if the trans option is for some reason not available at the time, if non-binary is just sort of out of the picture entirely. And I'm talking specifically about like filling out a form or something and having to choose or disclose where your gender is. I'm also kind of talking about choosing a bathroom when there's no unisex toilet. I'm also talking about usually clothes shopping. I drift toward the male option in those cases because non-binary isn't available for me to choose. And it's like, well, I was declared female at birth. I am all right with he, him, his pronouns. I am currently taking testosterone in order to masculinize my voice and my body. So, I guess. But as long as non-binary is available as an option, I hate talking in absolutes. I almost said I will always choose it. And I go, but maybe one day I will change my mind. At least for now, in my current experience, if non-binary exists as an option, I will take it. I will claim it as mine. And I'm realizing I'm not any closer to actually describing what it means to be non-binary. So let's backtrack. For the most part, there's a societal idea of gender that says it's based in biology. But a non-binary gender, at least in the way that it's understood in our time, in our culture, has nothing to do with biology. And I'm not talking about intersex people. Intersex people are not, by definition, non-binary, and that's not even my realm of thing to talk about, so I'm not talking about intersex people. I'm talking about non-binary people. There is not a physical definition of what a non-binary person is. And I think that might be the point. Because to claim and to feel and to live a non-binary gender is to have a conception of your gender, of yourself, of your existence outside of the definitions that are placed upon your body by others. So that's a start. I also think there's something to being non-binary that allows for the exploration of this very liminal space that is not female, not male, something outside or between or a blend. And anyone can explore those things. Anyone, whatever their gender is free to explore things like presentation, the trappings, the outside appearance of, one gender or another. But to be non-binary means to live that sort of liminal space. I don't know, I might just be talking out of my ass here, but this is something I've been wanting to think through for a while, and I feel at least that I've gotten a start on it today. This is where the babble part of calling this a transition babble blog really comes into play. In any case, once again, happy Pride, and if you liked this video, subscribe if you want to see what comes next. Leave a comment. Let's talk about the ideas of gender. I'm Ronan, and that's Wadsworth, who's looking very cool today. Wadsworth doesn't have a nose, but we found a way to make those glasses work. Always be changing.